The aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the cozy corner of the quaint cafe as sunlight streamed through the large windows, creating a warm ambiance. Soft jazz melodies played in the background, creating a perfect setting for what was about to unfold. Mark, a nervous yet admired young man, had been planning this moment for months. Today was the day he would propose to the love of his life, Emily. Seated across from each other at a small, intimate table, Mark and Emily exchanged smiles over their steaming cups of coffee. The atmosphere buzzed with the murmur of conversation and the clinking of coffee cups, creating an ideal backdrop for a momentous occasion. Mark cleared his throat, his heart racing as he took a deep breath. He reached into his pocket, pulling out a small velvet box. Emily's eyes widened in surprise as Mark opened the box, revealing a sparkling diamond ring.
"Emily,"
Mark began, his voice filled with sincerity.
"From the moment we met, my life has been brighter and more beautiful. You are my best friend, my confidant, and the love of my life. Will you make me the happiest man on earth and marry me?"
Emily's eyes welled up with tears of joy as she looked at the man she knew she wanted to spend the rest of her life with. "Yes, Mark, 1,000 times yes!" she exclaimed, her radiant smile lighting up the cafe. As the magic of the moment unfolded, the other patrons in the cafe couldn't help but notice the joyous occasion. A ripple of applause started from a nearby table, and soon the entire cafe joined in the celebration of love. The claps and cheers added to the joy that enveloped Mark and Emily, turning their private moment into a shared celebration. A middle-aged woman with a warm smile approached their table, holding a plate with 2 slices of cake adorned with a single lit candle. "Congratulations! May your love be as sweet and enduring as this cake," she said, placing the dessert before the newly engaged couple.
"Oh, thank you so much,"
Mark replied, genuinely touched by the kindness of the cafe's patrons. The woman returned to her table and the lively hum of conversation resumed, creating a comforting background for Mark and Emily. As they enjoyed the cake and each other's company, a gentleman in his 60s approached, a twinkle in his eye.
"I couldn't help but overhear your beautiful proposal," he said. "Allow me to offer you a piece of advice. In marriage, always remember to communicate and cherish the small moments. They add up to a lifetime of happiness."
Mark and Emily nodded appreciatively, realizing that this unexpected advice from a stranger carried a timeless wisdom that transcended generations. The cafe's barista, a young woman with vibrant blue hair, came over with a tray of celebratory lattes. "On the house, may your love be as rich and fulfilling as these lattes," she said with a wink.
"Cheers to that,"
Mark replied, raising his coffee cup in a toast. The clinking of cups echoed through the cafe, creating a harmonious symphony of well-wishes and shared joy. Amid the celebration, an elderly couple sitting at a nearby table caught Mark's attention. The elderly gentleman, with a kind smile and wise eyes, beckoned them over.
"Young love is a treasure. Cherish it, nurture it, and let it grow," he advised.
As Mark and Emily engaged in a heartfelt conversation with the seasoned couple, they discovered that the elderly pair had been married for over 6 decades. The couple's enduring love story, filled with laughter, challenges, and unwavering commitment, served as a source of inspiration for the newly engaged couple. The cafe had transformed into a hub of love and wisdom, where strangers became well-wishers and shared their own stories of romance and resilience. A group of teenagers at a nearby table even offered to capture a photo of Mark and Emily, freezing the moment in time. As the afternoon unfolded, the engaged couple found themselves surrounded by an unexpected community of supporters and well-wishers. The cafe, once just a backdrop for their proposal, had become a haven of shared experiences and genuine connections. The cafe's owner, a cheerful woman with a contagious smile, approached Mark and Emily with a small gift bag. "Congratulations! This is a little something from the cafe family. May it remind you of the love that blossomed here today," she said, handing them the bag. Curious, Mark and Emily opened the bag to find a beautifully crafted photo frame containing the picture the teenagers had taken earlier. The frame also held a note that read, "May your love continue to flourish like the first bloom of spring." Touched by the generosity and warmth of the cafe's patrons, Mark and Emily felt a profound sense of gratitude. They realized that their love story, now combined with the stories of the people they had met that day, had become a shared experience that transcended the boundaries of individual lives. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the cafe, Mark and Emily left hand in hand, their hearts full of love and the wisdom shared by the diverse group of people they had encountered. The cafe, once just a setting for a proposal, had become a symbol of the interconnectedness of lives and the enduring power of love. The sun bathed the city in a golden glow as Emily nervously dialed her parents' number to share the exciting news. Mark's proposal was a beautiful surprise, and she couldn't wait to let her family in on the joyous secret. "Hello?" Daisy answered, the warmth in her voice palpable through the phone. "Hi, Mum, it's Emily," she began, trying to contain her excitement. "I have something amazing to tell you." Her mother chuckled. "Well, don't keep us in suspense, dear. What's the news?" Taking a deep breath, Emily shared the story of Mark's heartfelt proposal, painting a vivid picture of the cafe, the enchanted moment, and the ring that now adorned her finger. As she spoke, the happiness in her parents' voices radiated through the phone.
"We're so happy for you, sweetheart," her father exclaimed. "When can we meet this young man who's stolen our daughter's heart?"
Overwhelmed with joy, Emily suggested they meet the next day for lunch. Her parents readily agreed, eager to welcome Mark into the family. The following day, Mark, dressed in smart casuals, arrived at Emily's childhood home. The scent of home-cooked meals wafted through the air as he knocked on the door. Daisy opened it with a beaming smile, welcoming him inside. The house exuded warmth and familial comfort. A long dining table adorned with flowers and fine china awaited them. William greeted Mark with a firm handshake, genuine warmth in his eyes.
"Welcome, Mark. We're delighted to finally meet the man who has captured our daughter's heart," he said, leading Mark to the table.
Lunch unfolded like a feast, a symphony of laughter and the clinking of cutlery. The conversation flowed effortlessly, a blend of family stories, shared values, and the joyous prospect of Mark becoming a part of their lives. As dessert was served, William cleared his throat, a glint of excitement in his eyes.
"Mark, we've been thinking. How about we celebrate this beautiful union with a formal party? We'd love to make it a grand affair, inviting both our families."
Surprised but touched by the suggestion, Mark looked at Emily, who nodded with a smile. "Dad, that sounds wonderful, but why a party?" Daisy chimed in. "Well, sweetheart, you see, we want your engagement and eventually your wedding to be grand celebrations. You've given us so much happiness. And we want to share that joy with our extended family and friends. Besides, it's a beautiful tradition to mark the beginning of a lifelong journey together. Mark glanced at Emily, realizing the sincerity of her parents' desire.
I appreciate the sentiment. I'm more than happy to celebrate our love with everyone. If that's what you all want, I'm on board.
Excitement filled the room as plans were hatched for the unplanned party. The date was set for 5 days later, allowing enough time for both families to prepare and invite their loved ones. The following day, as preparations for the party were in full swing, Mark decided to call his parents and share the good news. Rose answered the phone, and as he began to speak, her joyous exclamations echoed through the receiver.
"Hello?"
Rose's voice echoed through the phone.
"Hi, Mum, it's Mark,"
he began, his voice tinged with excitement.
"Mark, what a pleasant surprise! How have you been?"
Rose inquired warmly.
I'm doing great, Mum. I have some incredible news to share,"
Mark replied, a joyous note in his voice.
"Mark, my dear, we're so thrilled for you. Tell us everything,"
Rose insisted. His parents, sensing the excitement, urged him to spill the beans. Mark took a deep breath before launching into the tale of his romantic proposal to Emily at the cozy cafe, recounting the details of the enchanted moment and the sparkling ring that now adorned Emily's finger. Rose's delighted gasp and Arlo's hearty laughter echoed through the phone.
"Mark, that's fantastic news. We're so happy for you,"
Arlo exclaimed. As Mark basked in the warmth of his parents' enthusiasm, he extended an invitation for lunch the next day.
"I'd love for you both to meet Emily. It's going to be a special day,"
he shared, his excitement contagious. The next day, Mark dialed Emily's number, the anticipation evident in his voice.
"Hey, Emily, get ready. I'm coming to pick you up tomorrow. We're going to my parents' house in the countryside,"
he declared, a sense of excitement resonating through the phone. Emily's eyes widened with surprise. "Really? That sounds wonderful, Mark. I'll be ready," she replied, a smile playing on her lips. The next day, Mark arrived at Emily's doorstep, the warmth of the sun reflecting in his eyes. As Emily descended the stairs, Mark greeted her parents with a friendly smile.
"Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Anderson. It's a pleasure to see you again," he said, the sincerity in his voice reflecting his genuine affection for Emily's family.
Emily, her eyes sparkling with anticipation, joined Mark in the car. As they drove towards the countryside, she couldn't contain her curiosity. "Tell me more about your parents, Mark. What are they like?" Mark grinned, happy to share more about his family.
"Well, my dad is a retired professor. He's passionate about gardening and literature. Mum is an artist and her paintings are displayed all over the house. They both love hosting gatherings and making people feel at home. You'll love them."
Emily nodded, a sense of warmth enveloping her. "Oh, they sound wonderful. I can't wait to meet them." The countryside unfolded before them, picturesque landscapes passing by as Emily marvelled at the beauty. Suddenly, she spotted a vibrant display of flowers being sold by the roadside. "Mark, can you please stop the car? I'd love to get some flowers for your parents." Mark chuckled, charmed by her thoughtfulness.
"Of course, Emily. Take your time."
Emily hopped out of the car, selecting an assortment of colourful blooms that mirrored the vibrant spirit of the day. Not wanting to come empty-handed, she also grabbed a basket of fresh fruits from a nearby vendor. As they resumed their journey, Emily arranged the flowers in the car, their sweet fragrance filling the air. The drive continued, conversations flowing between them, weaving a tapestry of shared dreams and aspirations. After an hour of driving, they arrived at Mark's house in the countryside. The charming cottage nestled amidst blooming gardens welcomed them with open arms. Mark's parents, eager with anticipation, were waiting in the garden. Emily and Mark arrived at his childhood home. Mark's face lit up as he introduced Emily. "Mum, Dad, this is Emily. Emily, meet my parents." Emily greeted them with a warm smile. "It's a pleasure to finally meet you both. Mark has told me so much about you." Rose, a graceful woman with a twinkle in her eye, replied, "Oh, the pleasure is ours, dear. We've been looking forward to this." Arlo, a distinguished man with an air of wisdom, extended a welcoming hand.
"Welcome, Emily. Oh, Mark has found someone truly special, and we're delighted to have you here."
The aroma of Rose's signature dishes filled the air as they were warmly welcomed. The atmosphere buzzed with anticipation and joy as lunch was served. Mark's parents, eager to get to know Emily, engaged her in conversation about her interests, family, and the journey that had led her to Mark. Laughter and shared stories filled the room, weaving a cloth of connection between them. As the afternoon sun bathed the dining table in a warm glow, Arlo cleared his throat, a twinkle in his eye.
"Mark, Emily, it's clear that you two share something truly special. We couldn't be happier for you both."
Mark exchanged a glance with Emily, gratitude welling up in his heart.
"Thank you, Dad. I'm blessed to have found someone as wonderful as Emily,"
he replied, squeezing Emily's hand. Rose, her eyes filled with maternal warmth, added, "You make a lovely couple. May your journey be filled with love, understanding, and countless beautiful moments." Over the day, Mark, Emily, and his parents shared stories, laughter, and the bounty of fruits and flowers Emily had brought. The garden became a canvas of shared joy and the blossoming of newfound connections. As the sun began its descent, Rose suggested a walk in the garden. "Let's enjoy the sunset together," she proposed. Mark, Emily, and his parents strolled through the garden, the colours of the setting sun painting the sky. Amidst the rustle of leaves and the gentle hum of conversation, the bonds between them deepened. As the day turned into night, Mark and Emily found themselves under a sky adorned with stars. Surrounded by the warmth of family and the fragrance of blooming flowers, they realized that love, like a garden, required nurturing, care, and the joy of shared moments. And so, in the embrace of the countryside and the company of a newfound family, Mark and Emily discovered the beauty of blooming bonds that transcended the confines of time and space, marking the beginning of a shared journey that promised to blossom with each passing day. Days passed, and the couple found themselves immersed in the quick preparations for the impromptu party. The venue was chosen, invitations were sent, and the date was set for a celebration that would mark the union of two families. As the engagement day neared, Mark, brimming with excitement, called his parents to share the details. Rose answered the phone, her voice eager to hear about the upcoming celebration.
"Mum, Dad, the engagement is just around the corner. We're all set for the big day,"
Mark announced, his excitement evident. His parents, eager to be part of the celebration, listened intently as Mark painted a vivid picture of the grand affair they were planning.
"We want it to be a beautiful celebration of love and unity, just like the beginning of a lifelong journey should be," Mark explained.
Rose, her voice filled with anticipation, asked, "And how are Emily and her family feeling about the upcoming festivities?" Mark chuckled.
They're over the moon. Emily's parents are just as excited as we are. They want to make it a memorable celebration for both families.
Arlo, always the practical one, chimed in.
Sounds like a wonderful plan, son. We're looking forward to celebrating with everyone, and don't forget to capture the moments so we can relive them with you.
As the night settled in, Mark sent invitation to his colleagues and friends, extending invitations to share in the joy of the engagement.
It's not just a celebration for us, but for everyone who has been a part of our journey,
he explained through the invitation. The 2 days before the party was a flurry of activity at Mark's house. His parents had arrived from the countryside, bearing gifts and the essence of their rustic charm. Rose, a beacon of hospitality, had prepared a variety of homemade gifts for Emily's parents, showcasing the warmth of their family. As the day unfolded, the house echoed with laughter and the clinking of dishes as preparations for the party were in full swing. Mark's parents brought treasures from their countryside, handmade crafts, locally sourced delicacies and souvenirs that would add a touch of authenticity to the celebration. In the backyard garden, a hired company meticulously adorned the space with elegant decorations. Tables draped in crisp linens, floral arrangements that seemed to dance with the wind, and fairy lights creating a magical ambiance. Every detail was a testament to the care put into making the ceremony truly special. In the evening, Mark returned from work, greeted by the delightful aroma of Rose's pasta.
It's been a while since you made pasta, Mum. Oh, I'm excited to eat, he remarked, his eyes sparkling with anticipation.
Rose beamed. I thought we'd have a special meal before the big day. Sit down, dinner is ready. After freshening up, Mark descended to the dining room where the table was adorned with his favourite dishes. As they savoured the meal, the conversation naturally turned to the upcoming party.
So, Mark, have you finalised everything day after day?
Arlo inquired, a twinkle in his eye. Mark nodded.
Yes, Dad. Emily's parents will arrive at 10 a.m. We'll have some time for introductions and family bonding before the ceremony. The engagement is scheduled for 1 p.m. and after that we'll have a festive lunch.
Rose added, Oh, it sounds like a perfect plan. We'll make sure everything runs smoothly. Tomorrow is a special day for you and we want it to be memorable. The momentous day arrived and Emily's parents arrived at 10 a.m., greeted warmly by Mark's family. The house buzzed with activity as guests began to arrive, each bringing their excitement and well wishes for the couple. At 1 p.m., the garden transformed into a haven of love and celebration. Mark, dressed in a sleek suit, stood with Emily by his side as they exchanged rings. The ceremony was a seamless blend of tradition and personal touches, officiated by a close family friend who added a touch of humour to the proceedings. Guests gathered to witness the ring exchange, their faces reflecting the joyous occasion. Laughter and applause filled the air as Mark and Emily exchanged rings. After the ceremony, everyone moved to the beautifully decorated tables for lunch. The aroma of delectable dishes filled the air as guests indulged in a feast, sharing stories and laughter. Amidst the festivities, Emily's parents presented gifts to Mark's family as a gesture of gratitude. Rose, touched by the thoughtful tokens, expressed her appreciation. Your warmth and generosity have made this day even more special, she said. As the afternoon unfolded, guests took turns offering their blessings and best wishes to the newly engaged couple. Mark's colleagues shared heartfelt anecdotes and friends raised toasts to a future filled with happiness. Amid the celebration, Arlo pulled him aside, a proud smile on his face.
Son, this was a beautiful moment. Cherish it, And may your journey together be as rich and fulfilling as today's celebration.
Mark, looking at Emily across the room, nodded with gratitude.
Dad, I will. Thank you for everything.
As the day drew to a close, Mark and Emily, surrounded by the love and warmth of family and friends, realised that their engagement had not only marked the beginning of a shared journey, had also woven a tapestry of precious moments that would forever remain etched in their hearts. And so, as the night unfolded in a symphony of love, laughter, and shared dreams, Mark and Emily stood hand in hand, ready to embark on the journey that lay ahead. A journey marked by the echoes of a heartfelt proposal and a celebration that had united two families in a symphony of love.
Who would have thought a simple proposal would turn into all of this? Mark said, gazing into Emily's eyes. She smiled.
Love has a way of surprising us, doesn't it? I'm grateful for every moment, Mark. Hand in hand, they rejoined the celebration, ready to embark on the journey ahead. The party, born out of a desire for a grand celebration, had become a testament to the enduring power of love and the beautiful surprises that awaited them on the path forever. The night after the party was filled with the lingering joy of the celebration. Emily's parents shared a heartfelt conversation with Mark's parents, expressing their gratitude for the warm welcome. As the clock ticked towards midnight, they bid a sweet goodbye, promising to meet soon. Mark and his parents also retired for the night, the echoes of laughter and their enchanting memories of the day echoing in their minds. The following day, life resumed its usual rhythm. Mark and Emily went to work, immersing themselves in their responsibilities. As the week went forward, the promise of a weekend was invited. Emily and Mark, both recognizing the need for relaxation, decided to plan a getaway for themselves and their families. On Thursday evening, they gathered everyone and excitedly shared their plan for a peaceful weekend at a newly opened resort. Their parents, very interested by the idea, easily agreed. The excitement of a weekend filled with calmness and family added a new layer of excitement to the air. Saturday arrived with the promise of a blissful escape. The families drove to the resort, surrounded by lush greenery and the soothing sounds of nature. The weekend unfolded with moments of joy. Lazy strolls in the gardens, shared laughter by the pool, and cozy family dinners under the stars. One afternoon, as they lounged by the pool, Arlo shared a humorous anecdote.
Remember that time when Mark was a child and he insisted on catching fireflies all night? We were up till dawn.
Mark laughed. I was convinced I could catch them all, Dad. You were so patient with me. In the evening, a live band played soothing melodies, providing the perfect soundtrack for the family's shared moments. Mark and Emily's eyes met across the dance floor. The promise of their future reflected in the warmth of their gaze. On Sunday morning, the families gathered for breakfast. Mark's parents announced that they would be leaving the resort to return to their hometown and reopen the family business. Warm wishes and hugs were exchanged as everyone prepared to part ways. Thank you for such a wonderful weekend. Safe travels, and we hope to see you again soon, Daisy expressed, her eyes filled with gratitude. As the weekend concluded, Mark and Emily returned to their familiar routine of work. Their offices, conveniently located near each other, allowed for regular lunchtime dates. During these breaks, they shared stolen moments, savouring the simplicity of being together. One day, over lunch, Emily looked at Mark with a playful smile. Do you remember the time at the resort when your dad tried to teach mine how to dance? It was adorable. Mark chuckled. Yeah. Dad may not be a professional dancer, but he knows how to have a good time. Oh, it was a weekend filled with precious moments. As their journey unfolded, the memories of that weekend became cherished touchstones in their relationship. The laughter, the dance, and the shared meals at the resort symbolised not only the beginning of a new chapter for Mark and Emily, but also the merging of two families in a harmonious symphony of love. And so, as the weeks turned into months, their love story continued to flourish, a beautiful tapestry woven with moments of joy, shared dreams, and the promise of a future filled with love and serenity. As the weeks passed, Emily and Mark found themselves immersed in the ebb and flow of their busy lives. Amidst work responsibilities and shared moments, they realised the importance of celebrating milestones with those closest to them. With this in mind, they decided to throw a dazzling party for their friends and colleagues, a night of joy and revelry. The venue was a vibrant disco that pulsated with energy and colour. Glittering disco balls adorned the ceiling, casting kaleidoscopic reflections on the dance floor. The beat of lively music reverberated through the air, beckoning everyone to the dance floor. As the night unfolded, the guests, dressed in their glitziest outfits, arrived at the disco. Mark and Emily, the epitome of excitement, greeted each person with warmth and infectious smiles.
"Welcome, welcome! Let's make tonight unforgettable," Mark exclaimed, his enthusiasm setting the tone for the night. The dance floor quickly filled with people grooving to the rhythm, the air alive with laughter and the joyous chatter of friends and colleagues. Emily, wearing a sparkling dress that mirrored the disco ball's brilliance, took the stage with Mark. "Let's show them how it's done," she teased, grabbing Mark's hand as they led the way to the dance floor. As the couple showcased their dance moves, the crowd erupted in cheers. The pulsating beats of the music, combined with the laughter of friends, created an atmosphere of pure joy. Throughout the night, the disco became a haven of shared moments and uninhibited fun. Colleagues let loose on the dance floor, and friends engaged in lively conversations, their laughter harmonizing with the music. Amidst the festivities, Mark took a moment to express his gratitude. "Tonight is about celebrating friendship, love, and the joy of being alive. Thank you all for being a part of our journey."
The disco ball overhead scattered shards of light across the room as the night continued to unfold in a dance of joy. Friends and colleagues, united by the rhythm of the music, danced together, forging memories that would linger long after the night was over. As the party reached its zenith, Emily and Mark found themselves at the centre of a swirling sea of laughter and music. The infectious energy of the disco had transcended into a celebration of love, life, and the shared moments that make every journey extraordinary. And so, as the disco ball continued to cast its luminous glow, Emily and Mark revelled in the dance of joy, surrounded by the warmth of friends and colleagues. The night, an ode to celebration, would forever remain etched in their hearts as a testament to the magic that unfolds when people come together to share in the simple joy of being alive. The night was draped in velvety darkness as Mark dropped Emily off at her house after the vibrant disco party. The echoes of laughter and the rhythmic beats still lingered in the air as Mark drove back to his home. A cold breeze whispered through the city, and the distant hum of the nightlife painted a serene backdrop. The next day unfolded with the familiar hustle and bustle of daily life. William, recognizing the importance of family gatherings, called Mark with an invitation.
"Mark, we're having a festival of family gathering in 4 days. We'd love for you to join us. It starts at 9 p.m. Everyone will be there, including Emily's grandfather. Strict about time, so make sure to be here on time."
"Mr. Anderson, I'll be there," Mark assured, a genuine warmth in his voice. As he hung up the call, a surge of excitement and anticipation coursed through him. However, the days that followed were far from calm. Mark found himself entangled in the frenetic pace of work. A new project emerged, clients demanded attention, and a series of one-day business trips added to the chaos. The looming festival seemed like a distant mirage amid the relentless demand of his professional life. On the 4th day after a quick task, Mark finally found a moment to catch his breath. Glancing at the clock, he realized that he had a small window of time to prepare for the festival. The pressure mounted, but he was determined to not let work overshadow the importance of family. With a swift motion, Mark grabbed his coat, locked his office, and made his way to the parking lot. His phone buzzed and he saw Emily's name flash on the screen. He picked up with a smile.
"Hey, Emily, I'm just leaving for your place. See you soon?"
She responded cheerfully. "Great! Can't wait to see you. Drive safely." The skies, however, seemed to conspire against Mark's plans. As he merged into the labyrinth of traffic, grey clouds gathered overhead, threatening to unleash their torrential downpour. Mark's thoughts drifted to the festival, and he couldn't shake off the worry that the impending storm might foil his intentions. Time ticked away relentlessly, and as the clock struck 6 p.m, Mark left the office and went down in the parking lot. Mark found himself in the driver's seat and called Emily. The phone rang a couple of times before Emily's warm voice echoed through the line. "Hello?"
"Hey, Emily, I'm leaving the office," Mark greeted Emily.
"Okay. Drive safely, dear. Good to hear." "Oh, don't rush too much. Just drive safely," Emily said with concern.
"I will, I promise. I wouldn't miss this festival for anything," Mark replied with a smile.
Emily's voice softened, a touch of warmth in her words. "I know you'll make it. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Drive safely, Mark."
"I will, Emily. See you soon," Mark said, ending the call as he focused on the road ahead.
As he entered the very busy streets, the raindrops started to fall, first gently and then in an extremely large waterfall, blocking the road ahead. Mark tightened his grip on the steering wheel, the drumming of rain on the car roof matching the racing beat of his heart. Checking the time, Mark's anxiety intensified. It was 8:30 p.m. and he still had about 6 kilometers to cover. The festival was beckoning, yet the storm posed a formidable obstacle. He accelerated, maneuvering through the labyrinth of traffic, determined to reach Emily's house on time. The clock inched forward as Mark navigated through the rain-soaked streets. The glow of streetlights reflected off the wet pavement, creating an ethereal glow. The festival, a beacon of familiar warmth, felt both tantalizingly close and frustratingly distant. Meanwhile, Emily and her family were busy with the final preparations. The aroma of home-cooked meals wafted through the house and laughter filled the air. However, as the minutes ticked away, a subtle undercurrent of worry crept in. Emily, glancing at her phone, wondered about Mark's progress. The clock neared 8:45 p.m. and Mark, determined to make it to Emily's house before the festival kicked off, fumbled for his phone. He dialed Emily's number, the anticipation evident in the rhythmic tapping of his fingers on the steering wheel. The phone rang a couple of times before Emily's warm voice echoed through the line. "Hello?"
"Hey, Emily,"
Mark greeted, the raindrops on the windshield providing a subtle drumbeat to his words. "Hey, how's the journey going?" Emily asked, her voice filled with curiosity.
The rain slowed me down a bit, but I'm making progress. I should be at your place before 9 p.m,
Mark assured, his determination cutting through the pitter-patter of raindrops on the car roof. A soft chuckle escaped Emily. "Good to hear. Oh, don't rush too much. I know how traffic can be in the rain. Just drive safely."
"I will, I promise. I wouldn't miss this festival for anything,"
Mark replied, a smile playing on his lips as he navigated the wet city streets. Emily's voice softened, a touch of warmth in her words. "I know you'll make it. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Drive safely, Mark."
"I will, Emily. See you soon,"
Mark said, ending the call as he focused on the road ahead, the rain-slick streets guiding him toward the festival, eagerly awaiting his arrival. At 9 p.m, the festival was in full swing, the house adorned with colourful decorations and the scent of festive delicacies permeating the air. Daisy sat with a watchful eye on the clock, her stern expression betraying no leniency for tardiness. As the rain continued to paint the city streets with a glistening sheen, Mark caught himself in a snarl of traffic. The rhythmic beat of raindrops on the car roof accompanied his thoughts, and as he idled in the congestion, his attention was drawn to a scene unfolding in the lane adjacent to him. A car ahead seemed to be experiencing engine trouble, with the driver desperately attempting to start it, only to be met with the persistent sputtering of a stubborn engine. Mark, curious and empathetic, watched as the driver, a middle-aged man, got out of the car and popped the hood, attempting to diagnose the issue. The rain-soaked scenario grew more complicated as an elderly man emerged from the passenger side, concern etched on his face. Mark's sense of goodwill overtook him, and as the driver relayed the grim diagnosis, suggesting a visit to the garage, the elderly man graciously agreed.
"You take the car to the garage, dear. I'll catch a taxi. I don't want you to be late," he said with a reassuring smile.
Observing this exchange from a distance, Mark felt a surge of empathy. He decided to offer his assistance, not just as a passerby, but as someone genuinely willing to help. Approaching the elderly man, he rolled down his window and kindly asked,
"Excuse me, sir, do you need a lift? I can drop you wherever you're headed."
The elderly man, surprised by the unexpected offer, gratefully accepted.
"Oh, bless you, young man, that would be very kind," he replied,
his eyes reflecting both gratitude and surprise. They both introduced each other, and the old man's name was Mr. Patterson. And as Mr. Patterson settled in the passenger seat, Mark asked for his destination. To his delight, he mentioned it was on his way, and with a smile he assured him,
"Perfect. We're headed in the same direction."
As they navigated through the rain-soaked streets, the elderly man introduced himself as Mr. Patterson, and Mark reciprocated with a warm smile, introducing himself. Conversation flowed easily between them, the raindrops on the windows providing a soothing soundtrack to their journey. After a while, Mr. Patterson noticed Mark's phone buzzing with incoming calls.
"Why aren't you answering, dear? Is everything okay?"
he inquired, his concern evident in his voice. Mark hesitated for a moment, then decided to share the truth.
"It's Emily, my fiancée. She's probably wondering where I am. I didn't answer because I wanted to get you here as quickly as possible."
Mr. Patterson nodded understandingly.
"You're a good young man helping an old man like me. Oh, don't worry, we will arrive on time. If anything happens, I will explain it to them for you."
Mark appreciated his understanding, and as they continued their journey, he couldn't help but feel a sense of connection with this gracious man who had unknowingly become a passenger on the road to his destiny. After an hour of navigating through the rain and traffic, they finally reached Mr. Patterson's destination. As Mark helped him out of the car, he expressed his sincere gratitude.
"Oh, thank you, dear. You're a true gentleman. I'll be fine from here." Mark smiled. "It was my pleasure, Mr. Patterson. Take care. Have a wonderful evening."
Mr. Patterson waved goodbye to Mark and walked slowly with his old knees with support of his stick. Then Mark raced against time, made his way to Emily's house. The rain had relented, but the pressure of being late for the family gathering weighed heavily on his shoulders. Upon arriving at the house, Mark rushed towards the gate where Emily stood, a mixture of relief and concern etched on her face. "Where were you? Everyone's been waiting," she exclaimed. Mark, catching his breath, explained,
"I'm so sorry. I was helping an old man whose car broke down. I dropped him near here, and that's why I'm late."
Emily's parents, unaware of the circumstances, were less forgiving. They called Mark into a room where stern expressions awaited him. William, his voice edged with disappointment, asked,
"What's the reason for your tardiness, Mark?"
Mark, feeling a twinge of guilt, explained the situation.
"I encountered an old man whose car had broken down in the rain. I offered him a lift and I dropped him near here. I didn't want to leave him stranded."
Daisy, not fully convinced, scolded, "You should have considered the importance of being on time. You were late because of someone else's problem." Just as the scolding continued, the door swung open, revealing a familiar face. Mr. Patterson, the elderly man Mark had assisted, entered the room, putting everyone silent by thumping his stick on the ground.
"Stop it!"
he declared, his voice carrying a blend of authority and warmth.
"Mark was late because he was helping me."
William asked.
"Helping you?"
Mr. Patterson said.
"I was stuck in the rain and the car broke down. Mark helped me without even knowing my identity. Mark is a fine young man, and you should be proud to have him as part of your family."
Mark, confused, asked, "Are you Emily's grandfather?" Mr. Patterson replied,
"Yes, I am."
Emily's parents, now understanding the situation, softened their expressions. Emily, her eyes shining and sparkling with thankfulness, hugged Mr. Patterson. "Thank you for speaking up for Mark," she whispered. With a nod, Mr. Patterson talked to everyone in the room.
"Now, let's not waste any more time. We're here to celebrate, aren't we?"
As they came out visible from the room, the tension melted, replaced by a sense of understanding and acceptance. Mr. Patterson, the unexpected fight for Mark had become the bridge that connected the generations. The family gathering unfolded with warmth. Mr. Patterson shared stories, laughter echoed through the house, and Mark, now fully surrounded by the celebration, felt a deep sense of thankfulness toward the kind and giving old man who had not only become his friend, but also gave him a grandfather's blessing. And so, the evening changed into a celebration of family, kindness, and the unexpected that weaved themselves into the fabric of our lives. Mr. Patterson, the actional figure, had accidentally become a symbol of togetherness, reminding everyone that sometimes the road to understanding is paved with unexpected encounters and the willingness to lend a helping hand. The sound of laughter and music emanated from the house, a stark contrast to the intense journey that had brought him here. The house, now alive with the energy of the festival, embraced Mark as he joined the celebration. Emily's grandfather, though stern, softened at the sight of Mark's determination. He nodded approvingly, acknowledging his commitment to family. As the night unfolded, Mark immersed himself in the festivities. The worries of the storm and the traffic melted away in the warmth of familial bonds. The night after the lively party had drawn to a close, Mark found himself bidding farewell to the guests, expressing gratitude for their presence. As he made his way towards the exit, a gentle voice halted him in his tracks.
"Mark, dear, where are you rushing off to?"
called out Emily's grandfather from behind. Mark turned, a warm smile forming on his lips.
"It's quite late now. Why do you stay here for the night?"
Mark, touched by the kindness in his eyes, agreed.
"Thank you, Mr. Patterson. I appreciate it. I will stay the night."
Emily's grandfather smiled and patted his cheek affectionately.
"Good boy. Now off you go and get some rest."
Mark stayed the night at Emily's house, the quietude of the early morning signalling the beginning of a new day. As the sun rises, Mark, Emily, and her parents and grandfather gathered for breakfast. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the scent of warm pastries, creating a comforting ambiance. After breakfast, Mark suggested,
"Emily, can I drop you off at the office on my way to work? It'll save you the trouble of taking a cab."
"Sounds great, Mark. I appreciate it," Emily replied, her eyes reflecting gratitude as they prepared to leave. Emily's grandfather, who had been quietly observing, spoke up.
"I'll join you, Mark. Drop me off on your way to the office."
Mark nodded.
"Of course, Mr. Patterson. It'll be my pleasure."
The trio got into the car, the engine humming to life as they embarked on the journey. The morning air was crisp, and as the car glided through the streets, the atmosphere inside was filled with a comfortable silence. Mr. Patterson broke the quietude, his voice carrying a gentle wisdom.
"You know, Mark, family is a precious thing. Cherish the moments you have with your loved ones."
Mark, touched by his words, replied,
"I will, Mr. Patterson. Family means everything to me."
As they approached a familiar jewellery shop, Mark signalled to pull over. Mr. Patterson stepped out of the car and thanked Mark for dropping him and left. After dropping off Mr. Patterson, Mark continued to Emily's office. The car journey was punctuated by light banter and laughter, the camaraderie between the three solidifying into a newfound bond. Upon reaching Emily's office, Mark turned to her.
"Have a great day at work. I'll pick you up later."
"Thank you, Mark. See you," Emily said, giving him a quick peck on the cheek before heading to the building. Mark spent the day at his office engrossed in his work. As the clock neared the end of the workday, he received a call from Emily. "Mark, Grandfather has invited us over after work. Can you pick me up?"
"Emily, I'll be there shortly,"
Mark assured, a sense of anticipation bubbling within him. He left the office and soon arrived at Emily's workplace. As she got into the car, Mark asked,
"What's the occasion?"
Emily grinned. "Grandfather wants to give us something." Mark, intrigued, drove towards Emily's house. Upon reaching, they found Mr. Patterson waiting in the hall, a warm smile gracing his face.
"Come, sit down, both of you."
They settled into the cosy living room and Mr. Patterson presented a small box. Opening it, Mark and Emily discovered an exquisite couple of necklaces inside. The delicate pendants entwined in an elegant design symbolized unity and love. Mr. Patterson explained,
"Consider this a little engagement gift. May your bond be as strong and enduring as the gold in these necklaces."
Mark and Emily were genuinely touched. "Thank you so much. Mr. Patterson is beautiful," Emily expressed. Mark added,
"We're truly grateful for your blessing and this lovely gift."
Mr. Patterson beamed with satisfaction.
"You're both very welcome now. Cherish each other. Create a lifetime of beautiful memories."
After spending some time at Emily's house, Mark expressed his gratitude and asked for permission to leave. Mr. Patterson, with a twinkle in his eyes, nodded approvingly. Mark bid farewell to him and Emily and headed home. As Mark reached his house, he couldn't wait to share the day's events with his parents. He dialed their number. His excitement was palpable.
"Mum, Dad, you won't believe what happened today."
He narrated the incidents of the party, Mr. Patterson's unexpected advocacy, and the touching gesture of the couple's necklaces. His parents, overjoyed and moved by the story, shared in his happiness. "Mark, it sounds like you found yourself in a wonderful family." "Mr. Patterson seems like a gem," Rose commented. Mark agreed.
"He truly is. I feel blessed to have Emily and her family in my life."
As the conversation continued, Mark reflected on the unexpected turns of the day and the profound connections that had been forged. The couple's necklaces, now a tangible representation of their bond, served as a reminder that sometimes the most precious gifts come from the heart and are bestowed upon us by those who hold a special place in our lives. And so, as the day drew to a close, Mark settled into a sense of gratitude, looking forward to the journey ahead, where unexpected blessings and cherished moments awaited him in the company of those he held dear. As the joyous echoes of Mr. Patterson's visit lingered in the air, Emily and Mark found themselves ready to take the next significant step in their journey together. With a shared vision for their future, they decided to set a date for their wedding. After much consideration, they settled on a date that was 2 months away, a time that held both excitement and anticipation. With the news settled between them, the couple couldn't wait to share their decision with their parents. One evening, gathered around the dinner table, they broached the topic with a blend of excitement and nervousness. "Mum, Dad, we've got some news," Emily began, glancing at Mark with a smile. Her parents looked up from their plates, their eyes curious and attentive.
"We've decided on a wedding date,"
Mark continued, a grin spreading across his face. Emily added, "It's 2 months from now. We hope you're okay with it." Emily's parents and grandfather, surprised and delighted by the announcement, exchanged glances and beamed with joy. 2 months? That's wonderful news, Daisy exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Arlo nodded approvingly.
"We're happy for you both. It's your special day, and whenever you choose, we'll be there to support you."
Mr. Patterson laughed and congratulated them, and gave them his blessings. With the parental blessings secured, Emily and Mark decided to take a day off to embark on the journey of venue selection. Knowing that the coming months were a busy wedding season, they were aware that finding the perfect hall would be no small feat. Undeterred, the couple set out early in the morning, armed with a list of potential venues and a sense of excitement in their hearts. Their first stop was a charming garden venue surrounded by lush greenery. The fragrance of blooming flowers wafted through the air as they strolled through the grounds, envisioning their special day. Mark, looking around, remarked,
"It's beautiful, but I'm not sure it accommodates all the guests we plan to invite."
Emily agreed. "Let's keep looking. We want a place that feels just right." Their journey continued throughout the day, exploring various options from elegant ballrooms to rustic barns. Each venue brought its unique charm, and with each visit, the couple gained clarity on their preferences. As they entered a modern banquet hall with sleek architecture, Emily's eyes lit up. "This place is stunning! And it's spacious enough for all of our guests." Mark nodded in agreement.
"I love the contemporary feel, and the location is convenient for everyone too."
Excitement filled the air as they engaged in conversations with the venue coordinators, discussing dates and packages, and envisioning the decor possibilities. After hours of consideration, Emily and Mark decided on the perfect hall that aligned with their vision and accommodated their guest list. With the venue chosen and the date set in stone, the couple headed home, their hearts brimming with joy. Emily's phone buzzed with a call from her mother, eager to hear about the day's adventures. "Mum, we found the perfect venue! It's just as we imagined," Emily exclaimed, her voice filled with enthusiasm. Her mother replied, "That's wonderful, dear. I can't wait to see it. Now, when's the big day?" Emily chuckled. "In 2 months. We wanted to make sure we secured the place, and it feels like the right time for us." Her mother, thrilled by the news, said, "Oh, how exciting! We'll start preparing right away. It's going to be a beautiful celebration." As the day unfolded, Emily and Mark found themselves immersed in the quickness of wedding preparations. Invitations were sent, a caterer was chosen, and discussions about decorations and themes filled their evenings. The anticipation of the upcoming celebration lingered in every decision, making each step toward their wedding day more meaningful. And so, as the days turned into weeks, Emily and Mark navigated the intricate dance of wedding planning, all while savouring the sweet anticipation of the love-filled celebration that awaited them just around the corner. As the calendar pages turned, marking the countdown to Emily and Mark's impending wedding, the excitement in the air was palpable. With 1 month remaining, preparations were in full swing. Mark's parents, eager to join in the joyous festivities, arrived at their son's house, ready to partake in the quickness of wedding preparations. As the morning sunlight filled the living room, Mark's parents arrived at his house, bringing with them a sense of excitement and anticipation. Mark greeted them warmly.
"Good morning, Mum, Dad. It's good to see you."
Rose smiled.
"Good morning, dear. It's been too long. We're thrilled to be here and to be a part of the wedding preparations."
Mark led him to the cosy living room, and they settled into comfortable chairs. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air as Mark offered,
"Can I get you both some coffee?"
Arlo chuckled.
"That sounds perfect, Mark. A cup of coffee will get our brains working for all these wedding plans."
As they sipped on their coffee, Mark opened his notebook, ready to dive into the details.
"So, we've been thinking about the venue. What are your thoughts?"
Rose, always a practical thinker, suggested,
"Consider a venue that aligns with your vision, but is also practical for your guests. Accessibility and comfort are key."
Mark nodded.
"Great point, Mum. We want everyone to have a good time."
Arlo chimed in.
"And what about the guest list? Have you started putting that together?"
Mark shared his thoughts on the guest list, and his parents offered their insights on managing the delicate balance of inviting family and friends.
The conversation flowed seamlessly as they discussed various aspects of the wedding, from catering options to potential themes. Rose, with a playful glint in her eyes, said, "And what about the dress, dear? Have you thought about what you'll be wearing?"
Mark laughed. "Not yet, Mum. We're getting there. We're still in the early stages of planning." Arlo grinned.
"Take your time, Mark. You want everything to be just right. Enjoy the process."
As the morning unfolded, the living room became a hub of ideas, laughter, and shared memories. Mark's parents, with their experience and wisdom, provided valuable guidance, turning the wedding planning into a joyful family affair. After a productive and heartwarming chat, Mark looked at his parents with gratitude.
"Thank you both for being here. Your support means the world to us."
Rose gave him a hug.
"It's our pleasure, dear. We're here every step of the way."
With plans taking shape and hearts filled with excitement, Mark, along with his parents, embraced the journey of creating a beautiful and memorable wedding celebration. In the evening, after returning from work, Mark suggested,
"Why don't we go over to Emily's parents' house? It would be lovely for everyone to meet and share in the excitement."
Mark's parents agreed, and they set out for Emily's home. The drive was filled with laughter and animated discussions, building bridges between the families. The house, adorned with the warmth of family photographs and cherished memories, welcomed them. Emily's parents and grandfather greeted them with open arms, the air buzzing with anticipation and familial love. Daisy embraced Mark's parents.
"Welcome! It's wonderful to have you here.
Oh, let's gather in the living room." The living room became a hub of joyous conversations, with both families seamlessly blending into one. Emily's grandfather, a beacon of wisdom and grace, presided over the gathering with a twinkle in his eye. Rose expressed,
"We're truly grateful to be part of this celebration. Emily, your family has been so welcoming."
William added,
"It's heartening to see our families coming together like this. It bodes well for the future."
As they delved into the intricacies of wedding planning, Emily's grandfather, a repository of traditions, shared anecdotes and advice. The room resonated with laughter, stories, and a shared sense of joy for the couple about to embark on this new chapter.
"Family is the cornerstone of a strong marriage,"
Emily's grandfather imparted, his eyes twinkling with wisdom.
"Cherish each other. Uphold your traditions, and your love will stand the test of time."
The evening unfolded with a delightful blend of shared stories, laughter, and the sweet anticipation of the wedding day. As the sun dipped, Mark's parents expressed their gratitude.
"Thank you for welcoming us into your family. Oh, this has been a day filled with joy and love,"
Rose said. The sentiment was reciprocated, and as they bid farewell, the promise of the impending celebration hung in the air like a melody, uniting the families in a harmonious symphony of love and togetherness. As Mark's parents returned to their son's home, the house resonated with the joy of shared memories and the promise of a beautiful future. The blending of two families had begun, marking the prelude to a wedding that would not only unite Emily and Mark, but also weave a tapestry of love that spanned generations. With the wedding day drawing nearer, Emily and Mark, along with their families, embarked on a delightful weekend of wedding shopping. The air was charged with excitement as they set out to find the perfect attire and gifts for the joyous celebration that awaited them. As they entered the bustling bridal boutique, the air filled with the soft rustle of luxurious fabrics and the whisper of anticipation. Emily, accompanied by her mother and grandfather, was surrounded by an array of stunning bridal gowns, each more enchanting than the last.
"Oh, this one is exquisite, Emily. Try it on,"
Daisy exclaimed, holding up a gown adorned with delicate lace and intricate beadwork. As Emily stepped into the gown, her reflection in the mirror elicited gasps of admiration. Her mother wiped away a tear.
"You look breathtaking, my dear."
Emily's grandfather, a picture of grace, added,
"A vision of elegance, just like your mother on her wedding day."
Meanwhile, Mark, alongside Arlo and mother,
explored the groom's attire. The racks of finely tailored suits and tuxedos presented a plethora of choices.
This one has a classic charm, Mark. What do you think?
Arlo suggested, holding up a black tuxedo with a crisp white shirt. Mark, donning the suit, grinned at his reflection.
It's perfect! Let's go with this one.
The families reconvened, the bride and groom radiant in their chosen attire. The shared excitement fueled the next stop on their shopping journey. Outfits for the parents of the couple. Together they explored various options, finding ensembles that reflected both sophistication and joy. William, in a dashing suit, twirled her mother, eliciting laughter. Mark's parents, equally stylish, shared approving nods as they admired each other's elegance. With dresses and suits secured, the hungry entourage headed to a charming restaurant for a celebratory lunch. The clinking of glasses and the hum of lively conversation filled the air as they relished the delicious meal, toasting love, unity, and the joyous days ahead. After lunch, fueled by the lingering excitement, they set out for another round of shopping. This time, for gifts, to express gratitude to their cherished guests. The shops were filled with an array of options, from personalised trinkets to beautifully packaged keepsakes. Emily's grandfather, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm, exclaimed,
"Oh, how about these delicate, grand-crafted candles? They make for a charming and thoughtful gift."
Rose nodded in agreement.
"Lovely idea, and these custom-made keychains would be a wonderful addition."
As they meandered through the aisles, selecting items that reflected their appreciation, the families engaged in lively banter, sharing stories and laughter. Mark, holding a stack of elegant gift bags, turned to Emily and said,
"These gifts are a reflection of the love and gratitude we feel for our guests, so I hope they appreciate the thought we put into each one."
Emily, her heart brimming with joy, replied, "I'm sure they will, Mark. These little tokens will carry the spirit of our celebration with them." The day of wedding shopping concluded with tired but happy hearts. Laden with bags of beautiful dresses, dapper suits, and carefully chosen gifts, they returned home, and the sense of anticipation for the upcoming celebration heightened. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the city, the families gathered to reflect on the day. Excitement buzzed in the air, a testament to the love and unity that would define the wedding day and beautiful future awaiting Emily and Mark. And so, the weekend of wedding shopping became a cherished chapter in the journey toward matrimony, marked by laughter, love, and the shared joy of creating a celebration that would forever be etched in their hearts. As the days dwindled to the eagerly awaited wedding day, Emily and Mark find themselves caught in a quack of excitement and anticipation. Amid the bustling preparations, they decided to steal a moment of tranquility and reflection in a serene garden, a place where the beauty of nature mirrored the beauty of their impending union. The garden, adorned with vibrant blooms and the melody of chirping birds, provided the perfect backdrop for their heart-to-heart conversation. Emily and Mark settled on a weathered bench, their hands entwined and smiles playing on their lips. Emily gazed at Mark, her eyes reflecting the love that had grown and blossomed over the years. "Can you believe we're getting married, Mark?" Mark chuckled.
"Oh, it feels surreal, Em. Like a dream I never want to wake up from."
They think about their college days, the lucky meetings, the laughter shared with friends, and the gradual blossoming of a very deep connection. Emily's eyes sparkled as she remembered their trip from friends to lovers, and now to a couple about to start on a lifetime together. "It's incredible, isn't it? From the first awkward hello to this moment where we're about to say, 'I do,'" Emily mused.
Mark nodded. "Absolutely. Our journey has been nothing short of magical, and the best part is that the adventure is just beginning."
As they spoke, an ice cream cart adorned with colourful flavours strolled by. The sun-kissed day seemed to invite a sweet indulgence. "Mark, let's go get some ice cream," Emily suggested, her eyes gleaming with mischief.
Mark grinned. "Why not? It's a perfect day for it."
What flavour do you want?
I'll have chocolate chips, please, Emily replied with a playful smile. Mark strolled over to the ice cream cart, exchanging a few words with the vendor, and returned with a couple of cones.
Here you go, my soon-to-be Mrs. Thompson, Mark said, handing Emily the chocolate chip ice cream.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Cheers to us, Emily replied, clinking her cone against his. As they savoured the cool sweetness, the conversation flowed effortlessly. They spoke of their hopes, dreams, and the shared vision they held for the future. The garden became a witness to the echoes of their laughter and the promises whispered between them. With the last traces of ice cream lingering on their lips, Mark and Emily decided it was time to head home. Mark, the epitome of a gentleman, offered his hand to help Emily up from the bench. As they walked towards Mark's car, Emily felt a surge of gratitude for the love they had cultivated and the shared dreams that were on the verge of becoming reality. Mark dropped Emily at her doorstep, and before she got out of the car, he took her hands in his.
I can't wait to make you my wife, Emily.
Emily, her heart full, replied. And I can't wait to be Mrs. Thompson. It's going to be the best day of our lives. With a lingering gaze and promises unspoken, Mark drove off into the dusk, leaving Emily standing on her doorstep, a smile playing on her lips and a heart brimming with excitement for the chapter about to unfold. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting hues of orange and pink across the sky, Emily basked in the quiet beauty of the moment, savouring the sweetness of the day and the anticipation of the forever that awaited her and Mark. The sun bathed the church in a soft glow, casting a warm embrace over Emily and Mark as they stood at the altar, ready to embark on the journey of a lifetime. The air was filled with anticipation, love, and solemn promises that echoed through the hallowed halls. The Christian wedding unfolded with grace and rich beauty, the exchange of serious promises and rings sealing the union of two hearts. Emily and Mark stood hand in hand at the altar, ready to start on a holy and untouchable trip of love and commitment. Their Christian wedding unfolded, a fabric of tradition, faith, and the promise of a shared future. The gentle strains of a religious song filled the air as the crowd rose. Emily, decorated in a gown that mirrored her brilliance, walked down the aisle, escorted by her father. Mark, standing at the altar, watched with amazement as his soon-to-be wife approached. The minister welcomed the crowd, responding to the gathering in celebration of Emily and Mark's union. A serious prayer through the holy maid halls, looking for blessings for the couple about to exchange serious promises. A passage from the Bible chosen by Emily and Mark was read out loud, communicating wisdom and grace to guide them in their marriage-related trip. The words echoed the holiness of marriage and the long-lasting strength found in love. Emily and Mark, facing each other with unwavering gazes, exchanged personalized vows. The promises uttered were a reflection of their love, commitment, and the shared dreams that would shape their future together. Emily said, I promise to stand by you in joy and sorrow, to cherish and support you, and to love you unconditionally as long as we both shall live. Mark.
I promise to be your partner in all things, to share in our triumphs and challenges, and to love you with a steadfast heart until the end of our days.
This symbolized the unending circle of their commitment. As Emily and Mark placed the rings on each other's fingers, a tangible symbol of their union was sealed. In a symbolic gesture, Emily and Mark lit a unity candle together, representing the merging of their lives into one. The flickering flame signified the newfound unity forged through their love. The minister offered a benediction, invoking blessings upon Emily and Mark. A closing prayer echoed through the sacred space, seeking divine guidance and protection for the couple as they embarked on their shared journey. With a joyous smile, the minister pronounced Emily and Mark as husband and wife. The newlyweds sealed their vows with a tender kiss, surrounded by the applause and cheers of their loved ones. The triumphant sound of wedding bells accompanied Emily and Mark as they walked back down the aisle as a married couple, their faces aglow with happiness and the promise of a shared future. The ceremony concluded, and Emily and Mark, now united in matrimony, embarked on the next chapter of their love story, a journey marked by the echoes of vows, the warmth of family, and the everlasting whispers of forever. Following the ceremony, the newlyweds, surrounded by an air of enchantment, made their way to the reception hall. The room, adorned with twinkling lights and delicate flowers, set the stage for the celebration of their love. The meal, a banquet of culinary delights, brought together the guests who rejoiced in the union of Emily and Mark. Laughter and joy echoed through the room as the couple shared their first dance, surrounded by the love and support of those dear to them. After the sumptuous meal, Emily and Mark's parents stood at the exit door, expressing heartfelt gratitude to each guest for being a part of this momentous day. The air buzzed with the warmth of love and the shared joy that filled the hearts of all who attended. Among the departing guests, Emily's grandfather approached the newlyweds, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of a life well lived.
May your journey be as beautiful as the one your grandmother and I shared. May you find joy in every moment and weather life's storms together.
Emily and Mark, touched by his words, thanked him with a heartfelt embrace, cherishing the wisdom and blessings bestowed upon them. As the last strains of music faded away and the guests bid their goodbyes, Emily and Mark found themselves surrounded by their closest family members. The grandeur of the moment wasn't lost on anyone, the beginning of a new chapter for Emily and Mark and the merging of two families into one. Amidst the echoes of love and laughter, the idea of capturing this joyous occasion in a family photo emerged. Emily's grandfather, the action whose wisdom spanned generations, suggested,
"Let's capture this moment of togetherness."
The family gathered, generations combined, creating a tableau of happiness and love. Emily and Mark, surrounded by their parents and grandparents, stood at the heart of this familial embrace. The camera captured not just smiles, but the promise of a shared future, a visual testament to the love that bound them all. As the shutter clicked, freezing this moment in time, Emily and Mark couldn't help but reflect on the beautiful journey that had led them to this point, from a chance meeting in college to a heartfelt proposal. Their love had blossomed into a celebration shared with those who mattered most. And so, with the family photo immortalized, the novelette of Emily and Mark's love story found its concluding chapter, a chapter marked by a beautiful proposal, a joyous wedding, and the promise of a life filled with love, laughter, and the warmth of family. As Emily and Mark stood hand in hand, gazing at the captured memory, the echoes of their journey lingered in the air, a story of love that began with a proposal and continued to unfold in the harmonious symphony of family, togetherness, and a love that would whisper through the ages.